So I want you to imagine what the PC gaming landscape would look like if Valve just listens to what the gaming community actively asked of them. We would have a couple new Half-Life games, some new Portal games, and VR really wouldn't be developed. Well, as it turns out, this is actually our reality if you're an Artifact fan. The Artifact Build Your Legend update has hit, and this is just Valve listening to what all of the complaints have been. To sum up, this is a progression path, this is a matchmaking ladder, and this is a way for players to be able to unlock free packs as they play the game. That is almost every major complaint people have, aside from it maybe not being on mobile and it not being free to play right now. On top of that, there's also some major card rebalancing, which is a complete 180 in terms of the Artifact's opinion of how to balance a game. Up until now, it seemed like Valve has not wanted to be able to change any of the cards because they were focused on the value of the cards. And some people would say, oh, that's not how they would be. They're not that focused on the money, their gameplay first. They straight up said this in the blog post talking about this update. So in more detail, essentially what you have here is an experience system. Every game that you play, regardless of the game type, you are going to earn experience points based on your performance and the different things that you do in that game. There is weekly bonuses where if you win 3 games per week, you get an extra 1000 XP. There are different profile avatars you can unlock based on your level, with ironically, Axkana, Lich, and Drow all being the level 200 top of the range icons you can unlock. Essentially, the Artifact team is saying, yes, we realize who the top tier people are. And these experience points also come with what are called playstyle awards, which are essentially different achievements that you want to be able to gain throughout your gameplay. You're not told up front exactly what is going to happen. However, you'll learn over time what types of playstyles will earn more XP. Some examples that they give are win without losing heroes, win with 1 HP left, or earn 100 plus gold in a game. On top of that, you also have a skill rating. This skill rating is 1 to 75 and is a reflection of your own personal skill. There are seasons now, and as of now, there is no known end to Season 1. That said, ranking up to 75 will match you against players of similar skill, and right now, everybody starts at rank 1. And there are independent ratings, meaning if you only play Draft or Constructed, you will have a separate rating for those specific game modes on top of your game-wide rating. And then you have the balance changes. Axe was nerfed to 6-2-10. Bloodseeker was buffed to not only have higher health, but their mana cost on the signature spell being turned down. Cheating Death completely changed. Instead of just, always working 50% on that lane if there's a green hero, you have to choose which hero has a death shield. It has a cooldown of 1, so it's still a fairly powerful card, but it isn't the end-all be-all spell. Gust now only works on a single hero and its allied neighbors, and Jasper's Daggers, a card no one uses, now allows you to purge your opponent's effects from the hero when you equip it. Lion gets the new ability Quicken, which reduces a cooldown by 1, Outward Devour has a buff to 7 health, and Timbersaw now also takes -1 armor to any of its own attackers. With card balancing being a major change in Valve's design philosophy, they're actually going to buy back the cards that they have changed based on the market value fluctuations that they expect of those. Now, this is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. However, if you've recently purchased cards like Axe or Bloodseeker or any of the cards that have recently had a big nerf, you can sell those back to Valve at the peak price of the last 24 hours. They're really trying. And aside from that, you have some bug fixes, like the Red Mist Pillager issue finally being fixed, and some of the deck lists not being visible to the opponent in the Call to Arms Gauntlet matches. And then shortly after, a second update hit that completely removed the user interface stuff on the new leveling system, likely because it was in the way when drafting. Data mining the second 7.5 megabyte update actually showed off things like Steam Universe, which is a hardware thing, and new imp phrases for the chat wheel, alongside a lot of things to do with auto-saving and saving the game, which has nothing to do with multiplayer and more to do with the engine for some reason. This is a huge update, and hopefully the Artifact team is not going to go the way of Team Fortress 2, meaning we have very small pockets of incredible communication and content, and then years of silence. Valve needs to be able to keep up this kind of content and communication for the next year if they want to be able to rebuild the player player base that they thought they were going to have in the beginning. Artifact, for the lack of a better phrase, released unfinished. That is the general consensus across the community, and even though the main gameplay loop is there, the majority of the things people come to expect for any kind of competitive game period were missing, and they're finally starting to show up. I say finally, but it really only took under a month for Valve to be able to deliver. So what's left? A lot of the moves being made here are still with the economy in mind. For example, only 10 free packs being earned through grinding a season, and the game still costing $20 and giving you that beginning pack. I have a feeling that within the next 6 to 12 months and the release of the mobile version, things like Phantom Draft and the Call to Arms Gauntlet will be available to everyone for a free download, and the starter kit that you get when you buy the game for $20 will still cost $20, and that unlocks the premium features such as constructed matchmaking, the leveling system, and other things of that nature. I feel as if that's the only way you're properly going to be able to release a mobile game. If you don't release it free to play, no one's going to even try it. Who downloads games on a mobile device for $20 aside from, me? So there's still a lot left to do. I do not envy the work that the Artifact team has in front of them, but based on their reactions to the way the community has been and how they have handled themselves over the last month, I have very high hopes for this team. Shoutouts to everybody on that team, because it seems like they have very level heads, very thick skin, and they just want this game to do well because they care about it. If this was truly a cash grab, they would have given up by now. But the fact that they are doing exactly what the community wants, even if it goes against their fundamental values while developing the game, speaks so well to the future of this team and the possible future of this game. I'm very excited, and to be completely honest, you should give this game a chance by now. Thanks for watching. I'm Tyler McVicker. This is Valve News Network. Have a good day. Adios.